It seems today, looking at geopolitics and geoeconomics, that everything is changing. But there is one thing that is not changing, it's climate change. It continues unabated, and it's clear, obvious to everyone, that the future is very uncertain because of everything that is happening politically. But there is a certainty that climate risks will be growing. For Europe, it becomes existential to continue the Green Deal. Not so much or only for ecological reasons, maybe even more for economic and security reasons. Europe is warming at double the global rate of warming. And what matters, ladies and gentlemen, is not the average temperature. It's the extreme weather events that will come as a result of the global warming. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not only a question of quality of life, this is also a question of hardcore competitiveness. Because in a region like Valencia, you will not attract investments from businesses if you are not better preparing yourself for this harsher future. And I will briefly identify what kind of action areas we are looking at. First, risk governance. We really need to do a better job at making sure that there is ownership for climate risks everywhere, in all sectors, at all levels. Not just at European level, also at national, regional, and local level. Secondly, we need common definitions and a common framework for assessing, managing, and communicating risks coming from climate change. Thirdly, we need to make available the tools so that everyone in the public and the private sector is equipped to deal with these risks and prepare better for them. We have a lot of data, models, intelligence, services. We need to downcast that and make it accessible so that any company, any local authority, any industrial sector anywhere in Europe has access to that intelligence so that it can better prepare. Fourthly, we need to create a market for climate solutions. There will be an incredible need for climate solutions, not only in Europe, across the world. And that leads me to my last point of action, which is to mobilize, finance, and enable insurance. Europe is today, and I hope will remain, the biggest donor and provider of climate finance. 1/3 of the climate finance comes from Europe, the European Union, and its member states. Many will ask us, why does Europe have to play the good boy or girl? Why? What is in it for us that we have this international climate policy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we are warming at double the global rate, as climate change is a source of insecurity and instability, it is our insurance policy to make sure that the rest of the world is also contributing to reducing emissions and adapting to climate change.